Well, you have to realize that the trend is up. And the poll results are actually encouraging for us because we're coming up. And there's a steady trend towards growth in NDP support, including in Calgary, where a few years ago we were, at rock bottom. Mm-hmm. And now we're at 10%. So if that trend continues over the next couple of years, we're in a position to win seats not just in Edmonton, but in Calgary as well. I'm certainly feeling encouraged by the trend generally, but also by our trend. And okay. We're ahead of where we were in the last election, so okay. That's good. Yeah, well, I think that's where our seats are, and a number of our winnable seats are there. But we also have aspirations to elect MLAs outside of Edmonton and in Calgary as well. Well, I think people are looking for the same things. We try to focus on families and some of the difficult economic realities facing families. People want to be able to afford to educate their children. They want good quality schools, and they are faced often with a situation where they're trying to put one or two kids through university or college, paying very high tuition fees and other costs. They may have parents who need long-term care, and that's very expensive for them. So they're struggling. They're struggling with some of the costs, car insurance, electricity prices, all of those kinds of things impact a family budget. And so our orientation is along those kinds of lines. What do middle class and working families in this province need? How can they be supported economically and make sure that they have very good quality health care that's there when they need it? Quality and very accessible education for their kids and indeed for themselves, and good care for their aging parents. And those are all things that we think people care about, and those are things that we focus on. Breakthroughs, I wouldn't say that we have breakthroughs. Are we capable of breakthroughs in rural Alberta? Yes, we are. But we have a lot of work to do, I'll be quite honest with you, in rural Alberta. Well, it's partly a matter of resources and being able to get out to all parts of the province and deal in some detail with people. To give them the attention that they need and to contact them and talk to them about what we're about. So, a small party like ours has to set priorities, mm-hmm. and we will do so. But we will not concede any part of this province. I don't want to speculate on something like that. I will say, though, that I think there's a possibility, if current trends in public opinion continue, that we might actually see a minority government in Alberta in the next election. And I think that would be extremely positive for democracy in Alberta. Democracy in Alberta has been on life support for a long time, and that would really be a breath of fresh air. And I think it would be very healthy. We'd have political parties having to cooperate to get things done. You would have all views represented, and everybody would be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Well, I think that we have to get more people interested in politics and show that politics can make a difference in this province. And I think a lot of people have given up because they believe that after nearly 40 years, you won't be able to get the Conservatives out of power with dynamite. Mm-hmm. And I think that's changing. So I'm encouraged by that. The Conservative Party has an active interest in discouraging voters from voting, and they made it very difficult. For example, for students who live away from home, for people on First Nations reserves, and people in work camps in Fort McMurray and other places where that's going on in the last election. They made it almost impossible for them to vote. So it's not just apathy, but it is the active discouragement of people's voting aspirations by the Conservative Party in order to hang on to power. Well, just what we're doing. We just need to do more of it, and that is to come, speak to different groups, organize our own public meetings, meet with municipal officials, meet with educators and farmers and small business, labor, and we're going to keep doing that. By and large, I would say right now we're entering a phase where there's really change in the air, and people are looking around. And we've had more interest, I think, in this pre-election period than since I've been involved anyway, by some pretty successful individuals, people who really have a track record, and they're interested in doing something to get rid of this Conservative government. And they don't want the Wild Rose Alliance, because that would be going from the frying pan into the fire. So we are seeing more people that I would describe as very good candidates that are coming to us. We're not having to beat the bushes quite so much to find people, because they are stepping forward.